SNPI mission in Europe is to amplify the French voice in European Union real estate discussion on professional qualification standards and ethics, while helping to align valuation practices and advance data interoperability for smoother cross-border real estate collaboration. And I want to add something on after what I just say. I want to say that all that have been in, all the increase of the influence of SNPI at the French level, at the now first association in France, and all over Europe and even in the world, the merit goes only to Alain Dufour because he worked a lot on that, and he was the only one who worked on that. And fantastic, Alain! Congratulations for all you did. And why I'm speaking.
How about me?
Yeah, Julie, it's your father who go like that. Okay. And so, and why you're going to tell me, you're going to ask me why you say that about SNPI? It looked like you like that. Yes, I was a member of SNPI when I had my real estate brokerage in Paris, France. Okay, so thank you so much, and thank you, Alain, Julie, to be with us.
Great.
Hi, guys.
Thank you. Okay, so please take away for Mr. Alain and Julie.
I'm going to share with you our presentation.
Just a few words. Thank you so much for these kind words, Christian. Thank you, Hiroko, to organize this session this afternoon. Thank you to Anne that we met a few days ago in Toronto. And thank you also to Greg, our great ambassador for SNPR with NAR. As you could understand, SNPI is a lot of focus with global. We want our members doing more business outside, and we also want that you can do some more business in France and in Europe also. As Christian said, the SNPI is the first real estate association in France, but also in Europe. We are the biggest one, even if it's very, very small in comparison with NAR.
NAR.
Yes, because we have 15,000 members. It's very few in comparison with NAR. And we also have the CEPI organization in Europe. And I will candidate for presidency. Yeah, in the next November in Paris. And you are all invited if you want to join us to participate in November in the rent. It's the mix of real estate and innovation for the market with IA, with a lot of things. I can see now the difference when I travel in the US. Europe and France is not behind. You can provide to your members. There is a lot of new things in France that you can also take. Sometimes it comes from Europe. Thank you to everyone to participate today, and we will say what we can say to our market, and we'll do the best thing for you to give you
about the market,
the knowledge, and the volunteers to come here more times.
I'm gonna try to take over with my voice. I'm so sorry. So I know Christian, my father, added a lot of things about SNPI, but I want to also add that we have different departments, and we actually support brokers, property managers, condominium trustees, valuers, and of course, real estate agents. So our departments, we have SNPI Global, which is brand new. I will explain by the end of the presentation how to become a member. It's going to be free until next September. So basically what we wanted is to all the people that we cross during these conventions and presentations and webinars to be able to actually do business together. So with that platform, you're going to create your profile, kind of like Facebook. You can put up research for products or clients, share your listings, and then look up for agents in other countries. For example, if you're looking for someone in specific in France in a region that actually works in investment or commercial and is actually certified CIPS or CRS or whatever, you can actually pick and choose who you want to work with. So I invite you to register. I'll show you by the end of the presentation how to do it. Then we have SNPI Campus. It's a school. So we have a school for students to become actually agents or brokers. What we have in France also is for you to keep your license. You have, I don't remember how many hours,
42
about
hours with 3 years.
42 hours, 3 years. So this school provides you actually, so there's complete update on your certification. You also have the Collège des Experts Immobiliers, which is the valuers. So you can go to the school and do your certification to become a valuer. You have SNPI Tech. So we're doing our most to actually keep up with prop tech and all the new things in this world, which is, I know it's overwhelming, but we're going to get there at some point. I think we're going to all be able to share our knowledge in a synthesized way. And we have SNPI Insurance. So we have actually a department that provides insurance to our agents and clients in France. And we're going to try to actually expand in Europe. Do you want to add something?
Question?
I know.
No.
I want to add something because just to make
Tell me.
this understanding. So as Alan say, he is not SNPI is the biggest association in Europe and biggest and first association in Europe, and they don't have the same numbers of members, but there is a difference in United States and in France. So for what I remember, I hope I'm not wrong, but in America, when you are a broker or where you're an agent, you can do that. You have to be member of CR and NAR, for example, for us in California. But in France, it's different. In France,
No obligation.
it's only the brokers, only the brokers. So that means you have brokerage in France, and the head of the office, the head of the owner of the office, who has the license as a broker, is a member of SNPI. He can have 100 agents who are not cannot be member of the SNPI. So this is a big difference. So that means maybe if we go in France and say, okay, it's almost 15,000, it's 15,000 brokers, and if you go deeply inside and you discover that they have so many agents inside, maybe it's going to be a big number if you want to make a good comparison. That's it. That's what I want to say.
What I can add that we provide insurance to the agents also.
As well, yeah. Yeah.
It's our obligation to have insurance to be in part of the business.
Yeah, like E&O for us.
Portugal too.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the French market. So my father is more in the things because I live in Portugal and Lisbon. So he's going to explain to you. But Hiroko, I'm going to send you the presentation. I think you have it, but we updated it. So you're going to be able to share it with everyone.
Perfect.
You will find all the numbers in the presentation, but what we can say, for instance, is the market this year is recovering. We have increase of sales 14% last month. We're in the good way if the government doesn't make so many difficulties. As you know, we change governments maybe 2 times this month. I don't know next month how it will be. We also have some problem with our museum. You can see what happened this weekend. France is in like kind of troubles, but for the real estate market, we have a good way. So sales are well oriented. And what we can say is for the rentals, it's very different because European governments want to put the how you can say the economy
The
energy
regulations.
regulation on the top of the business. So we lost 5 million apartment for rental this year, and a lot of people are looking to rent something, but they cannot find because if you want to rent an apartment, you have to renew the apartment or the house. And if you don't renew, if you don't make some works, you cannot rent anymore. So most of the people who own the apartment prefer to resell it than to renew and do the location, the rentals. So for instance, the market of the rentals are completely blocked. We'll see in the future, but for instance, it's difficult.
Yeah, but what we can say also is that the mortgage rates are actually easing, which is actually helping for people to be able to afford something. Because it came to a point, I think it was like 2 years ago, where it was just nobody would be able to actually buy. So now it's easing up, so it's kind of getting a bit, it's helping the market. The big issue, as you referred, is actually the renting. Let me check on that. Greg is actually really well versed in that. Because so France knowing that Spain is following Europe, all Europe is going to catch up on the new regulations. So you have to be really careful for your clients that want to invest in France, in what kind of products they actually buy or refurbishing. Because like you have to comply to these new regulations, otherwise you're going to be paying fines, or you're not going to be able or allowed to actually rent your property. So what you can see is that we have a priority to reduce energy consumption comparing to Asia and I mean other countries. I think it's insane to put these laws on France comparing to other countries, but whatever. So they want to reduce pollution and actually renovate 500,000 homes by 2032, which is a lot. And they want to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. So we'll see where it gets. I think we have other priorities, but we never know. Maybe they will push that. There are
Christian?
no.
I want to ask to say something more after Alain and Julie spoke about the economic situation in France and the problem with the renting property, with the property we want to rent. So, in fact, concerning the political issue and especially economic issue, the problem with France now, that we have in France now, is the notation of the France, notation of the France. Because if we don't have a good notation in France, for example, I speak only for French people, not for
energy DPE.
Yeah. So today you can loan mortgage and get mortgage for 3.5 to 4%. And if we have a big problem, we don't have a solution for budget and all of this, it could be 8% at the end of the year. That's a big problem. The other thing I want to tell you, I want to mention to you, because this is something similar we have in United States, not in all United States, but for example, for us in LA. So the mayor of Paris and the mayor of LA are on the same page. They want to have a town only with renters. They don't want to have any more owners. Yeah, because politically is not good for them, so they prefer to have renters. But the problem with France is the mayor and the French government are making so much incredible laws, so it's impossible to rent. So that's the reason why people want to sell it. So it's a tricky situation for the moment in France, but anyway, it's a strong market and it's very attractive market as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Christian. It's a strong market, and even if the mortgage will increase a few in the few months because the notation of France is going down, I don't think it will make a
Big
great
difference.
a big difference. Maybe we can reach 4%, but no more. I remember 20 years ago when I bought an office, the mortgage was 4.2, and it was not too big. And I know that in the US it's more 6 or 6.5. So you are used to these numbers.
To bigger, yeah.
But we need more
Well,
stability in France, or more stability, of course, for the owners. If you want to invest, you want to be sure of the future. That's the problem, for instance, but I'm sure they will do it. And you were talking about municipalities in Paris, for example. We have election next March in France, March 2026, and maybe they will change something, because France is leading the economy of energy, and I don't think the situation could continue like that. I know that I rent an apartment in Lisbon at the beginning of the year. I had the information that the letter was F. That's the
they don't care.
information for me. If I want to rent, I rent. If I don't want, I don't do it. It's only in France, if you don't do renovation, you are not able to do the rentals. So that's why I don't think the situation could continue a long time in France, because too many people are out of the market, and so many people are looking to rent something and they don't find. It's too difficult.
I want to pull in Greg, which is really good about all these DP information, because I think for the agents, it's really important for them to understand what actually they have to look for and what risks they have. So Greg, please do join in.
Yes, I think the primary thing is the DPE for anyone who wants to rent or purchase a property. Now, what I have seen recently is, and Julie and Hélène can certainly speak to this, the government, when they wanted to have a very aggressive environmental policy, did not necessarily take into a fact that you can't, on a historic property, put solar panels on the roof, things like that. It would destroy its character. What I have seen is exemptions from DPE if it is like the UK's grade 1, grade 2. If it's a historic property, they're going to exempt the DPE. You still have to get the examination by the government. It costs about €750 to do that. But bringing it up to an energy standard can be tens of thousands of euro for people, and they wanted this for rentals and for sales. I agree with Alain, they're going to have to readdress this as far as rentals are concerned, and phase that a little bit further out, because there's so much income that can be made from those, and it's hurting the economy overall. And that will extend to gîte, and a gîte on a property, I think would be similar in California to an ADU. So those properties too cannot be rented out. Now, the DPE is different than the DDT, which is the dossier de diagnostic technique, which are all of the inspections you would have on a property. And those are more specific, like our home inspections. DPE is just one part of many of those, whether it's lead or
It's
asbestos.
the energy consumption.
Energy consumption, gas, electrical wiring, natural risks, those types of things. So, but I'm happy to give more detail on DPE and my information's in the chat, so you can always write to me directly. Does that answer, you think, enough, Julie? Or
Yes,
I think so.
I would like
basically
to
what you have to look for is apartments that go from A to C max. If they go lower than C, just stay away from the apartments, because you're gonna have to put a lot of money to refurnish. So like just
correct.
A to C.
Yeah, even D you can, but there is something out there they want to do. Also, the government want to do. It's to renew the building, not even the private part, even the common part. So it could be also expenses for people who are buying an apartment. But there is a good signal in this way, because if you want to buy something in France and use this apartment or this house you can make an offer, interesting offer, because the people who are selling, if they don't renew, they also have
Oh,
difficulties. So you can make a good offer, and I think it's a good time and good opportunity for outside people
spin.
who buy something to say, okay, the price is 100, I offer 80.
Yeah.
Anna?
Yeah, I think it's a good moment to actually play the card of negotiation so you can actually get good products if you have the means to, because people are gonna have to sell the properties they can't afford to renew.
Anne, question?
Yes. So is it possible to make an offer and say, okay, I'd like to buy this, but I want you to do all the renovations in before. Here's the investigation. Please fix this, and then I'll pay your price.
No.
No, you have to do it after you take the title of the apartment, of the house. You have to go first for notary, be the owner of the house, and only after you can renew.
So then
She was asking if you can, for the negotiation, if you can ask the seller for him to do the
Right.
renovation, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna pay you price, but you do the work. But most of the time people sell because they don't want to have the headache of
wanna
doing
have
it.
to look. Okay, right.
So,
But they-
you know, they're like spending time and money, and they're like, I just want the money.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
will not do it because he will never be sure that he will sign the paper you will buy finally.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
once he actually renews it, he can actually say the price is not this one, and then go up and put it for sale for someone else. Yeah, it's not a good
But
Yes.
what you
strategy.
can,
Yeah,
All
and,
right.
and again, in our just to make a difference between the way we do transaction in France and in the
Raymond,
US, especially in California. In California, people, somebody is selling his house or whatever he is selling. He's selling his property, and when the offer is accepted, the buyer has a certain sum of days, 17 days or more, just to do the inspection. So, and he does the expansion he wants to do. So he's not obliged to do everything. He do what normally his agent is asking or advise him to do. When you are buying in France, it's the seller who has to present all the inspection before. So it's like you have a book and you know what it is. Like you buy a car and you have a document saying this is done, this is done, this is done. So it's a different different way to buy and sell. You know, and that makes a difference. That's the reason why when you make an offer and say, okay, I take the property, I want to pay 20% or 25% less, but I will do everything after. You can do that. You cannot ask the seller to do it because he doesn't care. He wants his money left.
Is
what
there
you can,
is there a state requirement at point of sale to do all of this once you've purchased or no?
sorry, I didn't
To
understand.
do the renovation after you buy
When
it.
you buy it, is this once you've made the purchase? We have these point of sale requirements in California where when a property changes hands, certain things are required to be done immediately upon the closing. So in France, if you purchase this property that hasn't been renovated the way it needed to be, do you have any kind of time constraint
No,
as to when you have to do
You,
it?
you do
you
when you
can
want.
keep it for years. You can keep it like this for years. The
Yeah.
only thing is that you risk that at some point they're going to be like, well, it's not updated, so you're not going to be allowed to rent it. But you can, you know, if it's not for rental, if it's for you to leave, actually, it's a good investment because then you buy it from someone that had it for years for, you know, rentability, and you cannot rent it anymore. So you're like, okay, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to renew it for a good price and actually live in it. So that's a good investment to actually do it now.
Mhm.
What you can do before buying is to have an idea of the cost of the renovation.
Yes.
We have to,
Mm.
yes, you can have it. It's easy.
Ask for valuers to go there and actually make, you know, a little,
I'll tell you exactly what it will cost you to renovate it up to standards. So
yeah.
it out. Okay.
What do you
What,
have? What you can get?
yes.
Yes,
The
and
only
just
thing you can,
remember,
the only thing
sorry,
you can you cannot have it to say that if you spend 50,000 euro, you cannot be sure to change letters from D to B.
Yeah.
Uh,
You have no, yeah,
cannot-
certainty that, yeah.
No guarantees.
They
Okay.
will have no
Yeah.
guarantee to no, never.
Yeah,
But I
correct.
think it's a moment for this way, and good
At some
opportunity
point,
to buy. And next year and the next 2 years, they have to change. It's not possible to continue. Europe is going down for energy. It's not possible.
Yeah.
yeah, we
Correct.
have other priorities. We can't focus on that.
Yeah, and remember the French process of valuation really is precluded a lot of negotiation historically, because the valuation was the valuation.
Right.
Whereas in the U.S., you price to the market and comparable, and then you negotiate from there. In France, they have already built in all of this. Sometimes also the notary fees and taxes due. So the valuation is the valuation. I think to Alain and Julie's point, they're going to soon discover that negotiation is going to be required in all of the purchases, because you're still going to be responsible in the end if DPE is not evolving into something more lenient of buying a property that you would then have to renovate and certainly couldn't rent until those regulations change as well, if that makes sense.
But even if it's not good information, you have all the information before to close the deal. So there is no problem for people buying. They all knew what will happen with the property they are buying.
Correct.
So I had a question just to confirm: the DPE energy requirements are only required for properties that are being rented, or
No,
is
when
all
any
property?
property on the market, if you want to sell it or if you want to rent it, you have to have the letter of the DPE. Like the buyer or the new renter needs to know, what certification letter it has. It's an obligation.
Got it.
The only obligation is to renew to rent. If you buy, you will receive also a letter, a certification.
Yeah,
If you don't do anything and you occupy the building and you go for holidays or to use it every day, you have no obligation.
to keep
Got
it. But if you want to put it in the system, in the listing, you need to have it's one document that you need to have.
But don't forget, if you do a good business when you buy, when you will resell it, you will have the problem if you don't renew. But
Yeah,
it
you
could
need
be
to
the
renew.
opportunity when you buy and you have time to see what happened in the future.
Got it. And do you guys know what type of like building systems usually need to be updated? Is it like the heating system, the water heaters,
Yes,
electrical?
Yeah,
Like
mostly
what type
Windows.
of Windows? Oh wow.
yes, we
Yeah.
can have a report that check everything you have to do to be good.
Yeah, so that's
Sometimes
part
these
of the
stupid
dossier.
windows are something tricky
right.
because when you see a facade, for example, like in the presentation, you see an old building, they have like these wooden windows. And then, renewing it, it's complicated because it's going to take away, the the charm of the building. So, and it's really expensive to keep it, it's that's why my father is saying, like, for now, it's a game they're all playing, like, okay, we want to be, nice kids and be like, okay, certifications and everything for energy, but like at some point they're going to be realistic and be like, okay, it can't work, not now at least. So we just have to
Right.
play a game for now, but it's a good point to actually negotiate to buy stuff if you want to live there, if a client of yours wants to actually live there.
So my guess is the rental market must be exorbitant because there's so little rentals available. The prices must be ridiculous, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you want to have no problem, most of time you take your heating system out, and the later will be better. That's stupid.
No heat's better than bad heat. I guess.
Just freeze.
You have no
It's
no
fine.
You have no heating, but you have a good letter.
Yeah,
Well,
Wow.
and I want to
they
point,
had a year where they were like cutting actually the heating schools and stuff like that. They had a year where they went just crazy. It's stupid.
Wow.
Especially when you see countries like when you see Dubai, you know, with the AC, the doors open, the cars with the doors open, and AC in the street, and you're like, okay, we're fighting to actually comply and not using our heat during like the cold winter in France, but these guys are like everything open and the AC out in the open. So that's where it's not gonna work. You can't be the only one making the effort when the rest of the world is just, you know, evolving in another direction.
Mm-hmm.
How
Europe,
often are these requirements updated?
Oh, that's depends on the actually the political situation that we have. Because one day they're gonna say something, and then next day they're gonna change the assembly, and then it's gonna change again. So that's where we are. But that's what my father says, is that we have a president that doesn't even own something. He doesn't like real estate. So how can you have a president that doesn't know how it is to own something, a property, and actually be able to help our situation and works with us? I mean, you know, it's someone that doesn't really give a crap about real estate, which is a shame because the country mostly, you know, evolves with this real estate market. So I don't know how it's going to play out.
our
Yeah.
President Macron will stay until May 2027, maximum.
Mm-hmm.
Could be
Yeah, then
shorter.
he has to. Yeah.
short.
Everyone hope, Christian. Everyone hope.
Yeah.
We've been fighting for this for months,
I
but
want,
it's not happening.
I want to point on something that Julie say. You know, on the picture you have on the screen, on the left one, you have a kind of building. You know,
Osmanian.
yeah, there is, yeah, the Haussmannian. Yes, there is two buildings. So that's the reason why I want to point on that, because most of the building in big cities like Paris, like
Lyon.
like Lyon, like Marseille, and all of these, they are buildings from the 19th centuries and the beginning of the 20th centuries.
Exactly.
They have two problems inside. So when you want, as Alain mentioned, when you have to redo your apartment, but also when you have to do the common parts. The common parts are very old.
Common areas.
Yeah, and it's going to be a requirement now, and it's very expensive to do that. And you have to get the managing team to be okay with that and accept that, and all the owner to accept that. That's the first thing. Second thing, when Julie spoke about windows, when you have to change windows, it's very hard in this kind of building to change the window.
It is.
Because it's a requirement, and we have to ask somebody from the Ministry of Culture who will
To allow the change of facade.
and who say yes, no, you have to do that, or you have to do that, because we need to maintain the structure and the idea.
Appearance.
Yeah, of the parents of this very old but very solid building. In France,
Well, a solution, you put double, actually, you keep the wooden windows, and then what you do is inside you put the PVC ones. So you're going to have two sets of windows to open, but it's one way of doing it if you have space in it, because if it's a small space, you're going to waste it. So it's not worth it. But if it's a big apartment, that's one way of doing it.
But
So-
don't be
so-
afraid.
Thank you, Julie.
Don't be
So,
afraid.
So I
No,
think yeah, it's a very important information for the energy efficient remodeled. And do you want to share more information, because we have only 10 minutes? So if you
Oh.
want to
My God.
wrap up.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to speed this up. So buying steps, I'm also going to send you a guide as SNPI did, with all the steps, all the specifications about buying in France, everything. So you're going to just share with everyone. And if you have questions, just contact me or Greg or Christian or my father, anyone will be there, and we'll be in Houston. So anytime you see one of us, just, you know, don't hesitate on just stopping us. So
Something-
basically,
Sorry, something very important at the beginning. you can be sure what you will buy in France be completely certificated by
Legitimate.
notary. So you have no problem. You can be blind and don't hear anything. You have your investment is sure 100%.
No, it's because comparing, for example, in Portugal, there was a time where you would buy something and then discover that you don't have all the documentation, and maybe there's still an uncle somewhere that actually is entitled to the property that you bought, or then you bought a property and you think you can do renovation in it, but they're like, no, you're not allowed in doing in this property. So that's why like it's tricky, but in France, everything is double checked. So like you can buy it blindly, like they will never allow you to buy something that is not regulated.
Yeah, it's your notary who is doing it.
Exactly.
And for example, we don't have title companies because we don't need it, because we have all the chain of owners in the
Documentation.
all the documentation. So we don't need to pay an entrance for that.
There was a question in chat for an American buyer to purchase in France. What kind of financings can they look to, and what is the loan to value that they can get?
So I'm not good with that. That's not actually what I work on. But I made some research. Basically, what I can tell you is that you're not going to have a bunch of help, because I mean, we're friends. We don't really need the Americans to come in France. So like, we're not really making, things for you to actually apply and help you. I think we just guess that Americans have money, so they just can come and buy it. So they're not really worried about helping. What you can do is have mortgage from a French bank. So you have specific banks that I know are more like leaning towards Americans, like I forgot. Papa, banks. Crédit Agricole.
No, with the French bank, it's always difficult. But you have companies specialized, still MoneyGram or this kind of company, that they can help you to buy here in France.
Navigate.
Yeah.
Oh, Greg, what's called the one that we were talking about, Niver?
Thomas Nivel of Society Courtage. We have invited him to come to Houston, and he will be there and attending the global session. So if you are coming to Houston, you can interact with them. Hélène and I have been associated with them recently, as they do quite a bit of expat loans. So he would be the expert to talk loan to value more than anyone else.
I also have a booklet about it, so I'll send it to you too, so they will be able to reach and actually ask the right questions to the right people.
Yeah, see,
correct. So if you want an introduction, and just send me an email, and I'll do an email introduction with Mr. Nivel, and send you his information for the lending. But he will be in Houston.
What is his name? Niver?
Thomas Nivel.
Nivel.
Notice everyone, they're not 30. Notice everyone, they're not 30-year loans. They don't really do 30-year loans in Europe. That's pretty much an American thing. So they're
no, they do.
15 to 20 years, right? Mostly there's
no. It depends on the money that you put down.
Yeah,
but you can do 30. Depends on the age that you have. I'm 36, and I did one for 30 or 30 years. So it depends on how old you are. If you're older than 40, it becomes a bit tricky. But under that, I mean, you're pretty free to do how much you want. The basic key is that how many you're going to put down in cash. This is what's going to define the business and the mortgage that you're going to have. It's all about the cash you put down at the beginning. If you're in Portugal, you have to have 20%. So depends on the banks that you're going to work with. But I think Tomaniver would be like the best one to actually take you through the process.
90% of people buying in France come with cash. They buy 100% with money.
Yeah. So I'm going to rush through the presentation, but Iroko is going to send it to you. So I did a bit of research about the financing and all the laws and things that you need, and you'll have it in the booklets and the little guide that we have. Also put you some regions that are actually interesting for investment and why they are interesting. But I want to take you through the SNPI Global, actually the new platform we designed. So how to become a member? It's super easy. Please join. It's super easy and it's free. So what basically we're gonna do, you're gonna go to snpi.global and you're gonna register, you're gonna create your profile. So you can put your picture, your business picture, the links to your listings, your social medias also. What we have, so disregard because it's free, so you're not gonna be able to pay anything. You can actually put announcements. For example, you have a product, specific product for international buyers. So you can say, look, anyone, like I'm looking for someone that can buy that kind of product. So it is kind of a wall, a thread where you can actually post all the research. So even if you do events, I'm going to NAR, I want to host a little cocktail with everyone. This is where we're going to be. So you can actually post it and we're all going to be able to see it. You're also going to be able to check which events we're going to go with the delegation and join in. For example, we go to Inmocionate with Sierra, with our partners from Spain. This year is going to be in Barcelona, I guess. We also go to IPS Dubai, so it's the International Property Show. It's in April. And then we do, of course, NAR, and we do all the FIAPS events. We're going to go to Panama in December, Hong Kong also in December. We'll be at MIPIM in March, so we can have like a full panel, and Vienna for the Global Summit of FIAPS in June. You're also going to be able, through the platform, to register if you want to be certified CIPS or CRS. You can actually come to our school and do the 3 or 4 days of certification if you want to become licensed with that. So, which is pretty cool. We're going to try to actually manage one certification for CIPS in 2026 with Zola. What we want to do is something a bit different. It's going to be like 4 days of classes, but maybe 1 or 2 days of exchange with our SNPI members that would come to Paris and have a cocktail where they can actually mingle and actually meet people to do some business. So this is really a platform for you guys to be able to catch up and do business, because I know we cross a lot of paths during our conventions and then we forget about the people. And sometimes you're like, oh, I knew someone that worked in that country, but I can't remember. So if you go on there, and you just put the country or the certification, or even the language, I need someone that speaks Spanish or French, in Panama, then maybe it's gonna, come up. So just use that platform. If you have any questions, just email me. I'm gonna put the email in the chat. And actually it's right there. So if you can just put it up. But that's it. So if you have some questions, you're welcome.
Give you the link of how to buy in France. And
I'm going to send it to you, Rocco. She's going to send it to everyone.
Okay, I just did it right now. Okay.
I found a link and I put it on the chat. So.
Yeah. I think it's a little book, but interesting for everyone. You have everything can help to buy something in France and to ask the good question.
Okay, great. So thank you so much. That's a very informative presentation. So I always encourage everybody, if you are interested in to do some global business, very important thing is find a great partner, trustworthy partner. So I think Julie and Alan, as they mentioned, I think SNPI is a great trustworthy partner whenever you go to France. Either maybe Julie is living in Portuguese, Lisbon, so Portugal, so she knows many other information in other countries in Europe. So I think it's great opportunity to reach out and then work with like this great association. So that's very important. So
yeah, we're always open to other partnerships. I mean, if you have, you know, a brand that wants to settle in France, or if you want to organize like a little trip to Paris with some clients or anything, I mean, you can email me, I can help you, or even Europe, we have a bunch of contacts. I mean, that's why we created SNPI Global, is because we met so many people that we actually like and has the same ethics of work, which sometimes it's hard. So it's just easier for you to trust, you know, where to go when you're actually a bit lost.
We will be in Houston also next month.
Oui.
Good.
Oh, before I forget about referrals, because I know sometimes it's a tricky question. When you do referrals with Europe, keep in mind that it's not like the US. Culturally, you cannot, it's really hard for you to send a client and be like, oh, I want 25% or I want 40% because I'm sending you someone that's going to buy something. That's not really how we work. We're like, okay, I don't know you. Doesn't work that way. I'm going to be working your client. So that's why it's important for you, even if you don't have the client first, to make contacts in different countries that you know you may work with. So you also have a relationship first and then gradually go through it. And then when you know someone and you know how this person works, you can ask for 20% or 25%, but you can't, you know, for the first buys, be like, hey, I'm going to send you someone, I don't know you, but like, give me 25 back. So it won't happen that way. So keep that in mind. Culturally, it's not the same.
But no problem with French real estate. They know that they have to sign something to share the commission. So don't be shy. Thank you so much to all.
Okay,
Well,
great.
I hope to
Thank
see you
you.
soon.
It was great
Okay.
to see you.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
taking the time. That's a great information. So
See you
we're
all,
gonna keep
guys,
in
and
touch.
Thank
thank
you.
you.
everyone.
Add us on social media. This is
Thank you.
Ciao.
Wonderful presentation. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Very informative.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Hope
you.
so. Thanks.
Merci
Glad.
beaucoup.
Thank you, guys. See you in Houston.
You.
Okay,
Houston.
see you soon.